Hello, welcome to the 2021 Aviation Career Day. My name is Brian Rao. I'm from Medina, North Dakota, and I am an agricultural pilot. Agricultural pilots work for farmers and ranchers. They apply materials to fields and to the crops that are growing that will help, kind of like crop medicines. It's much the same as when you have a lawn that's full of weeds, or your dog or cat has ticks or fleas and they need to be treated. The most common way to do that is with some type of a medicine, if you will, also called a pesticide. A pesticide is something that controls pests. And that's what we do, but we do that for the farmer for his fields, because his fields get insects and bugs in them, and they hire us to go out and treat them. Now, let's talk a little bit about the airplane. You can see the airplane behind me. It is a special purpose built aircraft. The aircraft is designed just for agriculture. Yeah, you notice that right behind me, you can see where the pilot sits. It's called the cockpit. Right in front of that is the hopper. You can see the numbers coming up and down the side. The numbers show how many gallons are in there. And in front of that, of course, is the engine. And then, like a typical airplane, it has wings, and I don't think you can see it on the video, but there's tail feathers, we call them, or the horizontal and vertical stabilizers. The aircraft is really a very safe aircraft to fly. It's designed with a roll cage, and its location is unique, and that makes it a crash-worthy, a survivable crash-worthy aircraft. Now, agricultural aviation itself is not all that terribly dangerous. Our accident rate is actually a little bit better than general aviation is. So it's really a pretty safe job. The aircraft itself, as far as when it's applying these crop medicines or pesticides, the aircraft itself, it has a pump underneath that you cannot see, and that pumps the material out to the booms. The booms are these black, on my aircraft, they're black with nozzles on them, and that's where the spray comes out. We call it the spray, or the crop medicine comes out to treat the farmers' fields. And what we do when we're flying a field, here's a little model of an agricultural aircraft, almost the same as the one behind me. And if you imagine this table as your field, the first thing an agricultural pilot does is flies around the field. He looks for any obstructions. He's also looking for if there's anybody in or near the field. We want to put the pesticides right on the field, not onto other people or anything. And he looks around, he flies all the way around the field, and then when the way is clear, he'll start making passes over the field. He'll probably come in on one side of the field, and he'll turn the spray booms on, and now the spray would be coming out of the booms and the nozzles. Make a pass across the field, get to the end of the field, make a turnaround maneuver, come back down right next to the previous pass, make another pass, come up, make a turnaround maneuver, and he would keep doing that all the way across the field to do a nice even application on the field. Now, when he's spraying, the airplane's probably 10 to 12 feet above the crop, and we're going about, depends on the aircraft, but anywhere from 130 to 140 miles an hour across the field with what we call a fixed wing aircraft like this. Helicopters are also used for agricultural aviation, usually on smaller fields. You don't see it too much in North Dakota, but helicopters can have the advantage that they can keep their speed down. And so when you get to really small obstructed fields, helicopters are used more than they are in North Dakota. So to become an agricultural pilot, there are several things you need to do. Keep in mind that there are really two jobs involved here. One is the aviation job of flying the aircraft and flying the field, and the other one is to know the crop protection materials. So you kind of need to be an agronomist, entomologist. you should have training in those type of areas. And whether you have specific training in that or not, you need to pass usually a state certified test that says you know about these type of things. When you if you're thinking this would be something that would be good to do, that you would like to do this, keep in mind that try to do well in your school studies if you can. There's actually a lot of math involved. There's a lot of science and technology. I mentioned going evenly across the field. That is done using GPS systems and computers that we have in the aircraft that tell you when you're on the right line. And those things in this day and age all require technology. And I know that you younger people are all really good and up on latest technology. I think you all probably understand even what GPS is, global positioning systems. That's how you can, with a phone, find your way around the country on the map system. And we use those same type of systems with onboard flight computers to be able to make a nice even application all the way across the field. Now, to get started in agricultural aviation, there's a couple of different ways to do it. The most common way today is yet an apprenticeship program. I'm not certain how many people understand what an apprenticeship is. That's when you actually learn by doing, or you learn by working under someone who knows the business. And that's still a very common way. There are some flight schools. There's a couple in the United States. There's also a very good agricultural flight school in Canada. That's not too far away. And that is the other route that people take. It can take a while to get broke into this business, to get into this business. However, it can be very rewarding once you get into the business. For me, I'm a farmer and I like to fly, so it was kind of a natural fit to want to do farming and flying. But there are certainly people in this business who were not farmers to start with, but they've gotten into the business and they've learned all the agricultural things that they needed to know. And so I wouldn't let that discourage you either. And just the whole science and math things, all the agronomy and the entomology, that's all science-based. The technology is science-based. And someday, we're going to probably need someone that knows how to run a drone to do this business. We're a long ways from that at this time, but at some point, if you guys have ever fooled around with these little toy drone aircraft and things like that, someday chances are this work will be done with those type of aircraft. And again, in aviation, just to follow up, in aviation, everything basically is safety oriented, and that's why we wear the Nomex flight suits and wear a helmet, and we're concerned about crash resistance, and we are concerned about the environment. We try to do a very good job in applying the pesticides properly to the fields. All the materials that we apply are approved by the government for this type of application. And we really take all those things serious. So as you see this video and other videos today, please be aware that there are different ways to get into this business. If you go to NAAA.org, you can go to how to become an agricultural pilot, and it'll give you a lot of good information on becoming an agricultural pilot. Thank you.